young man, I feel like just the way that his dynamic with his baby's moms was not going to work for me. The oldest, he said they did not get along at all. And I believe this oldest was in her teen years, so that still meant that they had more years to go. And then I think he said the two younger ones, which were the Ghetto twins, he had a very interesting...
The Ghetto twins.
Girl, that threw me for a loop. I think that's where I learned that definition was on that date. I was like, excuse me, you have what? He's like, Ghetto twins.
I'm going to start asking niggas, like, you got Ghetto twins?
You got Ghetto twins? Twins are fine, but Ghetto twins is like, oh, you messy. Because, women, we can only be pregnant every 9 months, but men, y'all can do some shit.
Right.
But, yeah, so his Ghetto twins, he told me he was still having relations with one of the moms, and he still had unfinished business, and he was bearing his soul.
It's giving now.
He was bearing his soul, and for me, it was one of those situations where it was like,
that shit sound heavy. I'm
hearing you. I'm listening to you. These drinks are really good, so I'm gonna just keep listening.
Like, damn, for real.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
And then it got to the point where like I'm like a fucking goofball sometimes. And you told me as a fellow Virgo if you ever feel this way. But sometimes as a Virgo, once I get invested in hearing about your story, like I'm invested. And even if that means like I might be giving you like mixed signals, like you might really think I like you because of how invested I am, but deep down inside I'm just like, hold up, I want to know this story's funny as fuck and I ain't got nothing to do tonight.
Oh my gosh, let me just gas him up and like, so what she did that, what did you do
next?
I've done that.
That's definitely what I did in this case scenario. So after the bar, after us vibing and me hearing about all the kids, the Ghetto twins, and him still messing with one of the Ghetto twins baby's moms, he asked me if I wanted to come back to his house, and in my mind I knew I didn't want to fuck this man. I knew I wasn't going to fuck this man. Let me make that correct. I did not fuck this man. But it was like I was so invested that I was like, I want to know how the fuck this shit going to end. Like I need to know what the story is going to be. So I went back to his house because he lived really close to the bar. When we got to his house, then it started to get funny because the story started to switch. So then he's like, oh, yeah, I do got a baby mom, but you cool as fuck. And you listen. I like that. You been vibing with me. Like, literally, your face is girl, no. He switched it up.
I would have got up out of there.
Girl, I did. He tried to get into bedtime hour mode. He was like, yeah, you seem cool as fuck. I ain't even
trying to talk you out your drawers.
Talk me out my drawers. And
nigga, it didn't work.
Some of the men would argue, why would I go home with him?
That too, true.
But I knew what the fuck I was doing. I just wanted a good story. I thought it was funny. And in all honesty, he was giving me so much good stories in the bar that I was not ready to end it at that point. And I knew myself. I said, I'm not going to go in this house and I'm not going to fuck this man. So regardless of what he thinks is about to happen. And we have mutual friends, so I didn't feel like I was in danger. Okay. So it was one of them situations. Because sometimes that could be playing defense.
Yeah, like he could have been like, you going to give me this pussy.
Yeah, it could have been very bad. But I knew me and him had way too much connected that we would see each other again. That he wasn't going to play it weird or be weird. So I was like, I'm going to be a good friend. But it was so funny because as he's got into the part where he started worrying about me again after he stopped talking about his stories on all his life and he started coming back to me, I was just looking at him like, oh no. And he's just like, yeah, because you cute and you fine and you listen and you this and you, and I was like, he thinks that I'm about to come back.
He thinks that he gonna get some pussy too.
He thinks that he's gonna get some pussy.
And he thought.
You thought. You're not gonna get no pussy from me. I might continue to flirt because that's just the nature of the game. But yeah, at that point I was like, your red flags already popped up. Like everything I needed to hear or know in that moment I found out. And so then
that was a lot of red flags at once.
It was a lot on a first date.
On a first date. Whew.
On a first date. And
but they got unpacked all that on me. I'd be like,
what do you do with that? But it was like one of the things where I was like, I'm invested. I am invested in this story. But it's so funny because like the girl mentioned like, oh, during the talking stage, like you might find red flags. You could find red flags later on, or them red flags can be in your face on day one.
True.
And it's up to you what you want to do about it. Because you get to sign up for what you want to sign up for.
That part.